Hey, everyone. Before we even get started, let me just say, you are in the right place if you want to enjoy English while feeling like you're sitting with two friends. Welcome to our very first episode together. I'm super excited because today, I'm not alone, there's someone special joining me.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everyone. Wow, I like how you started. It feels really warm and friendly. Hello, dear listeners. I'm Jennifer, and I'm so happy to be here with you all. This is our very first conversation, and we want you to feel like you're part of it, not just listening from the outside.
Exactly. We don't want this to be a boring English class where we just say hello. My name is Alex. That's not real life. Instead, we'll talk to each other the way people actually do when they meet for the first time. And guess what, Jennifer and I haven't really done this before. So you'll hear us discovering things about each other in real time.
That's true. For example, I don't know much about Alex's story, and he doesn't know mine. So today, you're joining us as we introduce ourselves, but in a natural way, like two new friends talking. And we'll also give you tips without making it feel like a grammar lesson.
So let's start, shall we? Jennifer, let me ask you something simple. When you meet someone new, what's the first thing you usually say or ask? Without sounding too formal.
Good question. Honestly, I usually smile first because a smile makes everything easier. Then I might say something like, "So, what brought you here today?" Or, "How do you like this place?" It opens up the conversation without making it awkward.
I like that. See, that's a real life way to introduce yourself. And for me, I sometimes start with a small compliment. Like, hey, that's a nice jacket. Or I like your headphones. It breaks the ice and makes the person feel good right away.
That's so true. Compliments are powerful as long as they're genuine. And listeners, here's a tip for you if you're learning English. Don't stress too much about the exact words. Focus on the feeling. Be warm, be curious, be open.
Exactly, and I think that's what makes a first meeting memorable. Not the perfect grammar, but the connection you create.
Speaking of connection, Alex, maybe you should share a little about yourself so our listeners can feel closer to you. Not the boring resume version, but the fun one.
All right, let's do it. But before I jump in, dear listeners, if you're enjoying this, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us grow and bring you more conversations like this. All right, so a fun version of me. Well, let's start simple. I'm Alex. I grew up in a small town where everyone knew each other, and honestly, I was that kid who was always curious. I wanted to know how everything worked: computers, cameras, even why the neighbor's dog barked at midnight. Laughs, curiosity kind of shaped me.
I can see that. You have that spark, like you're always ready to ask the next question. That makes you a perfect podcast host. So, curiosity brought you here, but what about your hobbies? Tell me one thing that you love doing when no one is watching.
Oh, good one. Honestly, singing. I can't say I'm good at it, but when I'm alone, I sing like I'm on stage at a concert. Music just makes me feel alive.
Wow, I didn't expect that. That's amazing. You know, that's something listeners should remember when you introduce yourself. Don't be afraid to share a small secret or a fun fact. It makes people instantly curious about you.
Exactly. And Jennifer, now it's your turn. I think our listeners want to know the fun version of you. So tell us, who is Jennifer when she's not sitting here with a microphone?
Laugh softly, okay? Fair enough. So, Jennifer, I grew up in a busy city full of lights and noise, but here's the twist. Even though I'm from the city, I love quiet places. My happy spot is a little coffee shop where I can read a book and just disappear into another world.
That's so cool. You seem like the kind of person who finds beauty in the small things.
Exactly. I think that's why I love doing podcasts. It feels like a cozy conversation with friends, even if thousands of people are listening. And here's another fun fact. I love drawing little sketches. Not professional, just doodles, but it makes them space happy.
That's wonderful. See, listeners? This is how introductions should feel: personal, real, and full of small stories. It's not about memorizing a script, it's about showing your human side.
Yes. And here's a quick tip for everyone listening. Next time you meet someone new, instead of just saying, "Hello, my name is," try sharing one small detail about yourself. Something you like, something funny, something different. It opens the door for real connection.
Well said, and honestly, Jennifer, I already feel like I know you better just from these little stories.
And that's the point, right? Introductions aren't about facts, they're about feelings.
Jennifer, I like the way you explained that introductions are about feelings, not just words. It makes me think of the times I met new people and felt an instant connection because of a small detail they shared, maybe a story about their family or a hobby.
Exactly, Alex. Sometimes the smallest detail opens the biggest door. When I tell people that I love sketching, they suddenly start sharing their own creative sides, and the conversation grows naturally. It is like magic how a simple truth can make people feel comfortable.
Yes, and for me, when I tell people that I sing, alone when nobody is around, it usually makes them laugh, but then they tell me about the funny things they do to, like dancing in the kitchen or talking to their plants. And we all realize that we are human in the same way.
That is so true, Alex. And this is a beautiful lesson for our listeners. When you introduce yourself, try to be brave enough to show something real about you. It does not need to be perfect, it only needs to be honest, because honesty creates trust.
I agree, Jennifer. Introductions are like the first page of a book. If that page feels interesting, people want to keep reading. If it is too flat, they might close the book right away. So make your first page full of life and colors.
I like that example, Alex. And you know what? I believe practice is also very important. When you keep practicing introductions in different ways, you find your natural style. Some people like to start with a smile, some with a joke, some with a story. The key is to keep it real.
Jennifer, I think our listeners are beginning to realize that introductions are not a boring moment, but a chance to shine and to connect deeply, and I am excited to see how they will use these tips in their real lives.
So today, we learned that introducing yourself is not only about saying your name, it is about sharing a little piece of your heart and making people feel close to you.
Yes, and every introduction can be a chance to start something beautiful, maybe a friendship, maybe a new opportunity.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. And before we go, please write in the comments what topic you would like us to talk about next time.
See you in the next episode. Take care and keep shining.